you love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz, and I'm here today with...
Kim Shactman.
Kim, how are you doing? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Oh, Merry
Crazy
Christmas.
Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. What are the other...
Hanukkah ended last Friday, but that's okay.
We just can't say Happy Hanukkah at all now? Is that how
No,
it's
we
working?
can. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. God.
Happy fucking Hanukkah.
That's kind of why we did the Jewish films last week. So
yes,
that makes sense. Now it's all coming back to me. Okay.
Now it's Merry Christmas.
Yes. Now it's our turn. No kidding. kidding. All right, so we're here to review the 1990 comedy Christmas classic. I was going to say Hollow Out.
We need to have like an outtake section at this one.
God. So we're here to review the 1990 Christmas holiday classic Home Alone, starring Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Catherine O'Hara, and John Hurd, directed by Chris Columbus. I think for people our age, this is a very nostalgic movie, especially for you, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Home Alone.
Yeah.
I've seen it like a bazillion times. I can't even count the number of times I've seen this movie.
Yeah, this is one of those rotation movies where when it's the holidays and you get everyone in the holiday spirit, but you can't have something boring like It's a Wonderful Life to play with the kids, which I deeply resent now with my parents not letting me watch that or not having me watch that at a young age.
You're the only one that would have probably enjoyed that movie at a young age.
Probably true. That's probably true.
Everyone else would be like bored out of their mind as a kid.
Probably. You probably are absolutely right on that one. But but like this movie, Peanuts, the animated Grinch cartoon,
the Santa Claus.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The Santa Claus. That's another one that became like a rotation hit around that time too. So this is definitely a nostalgia grab for the both of us. Even though you've said you've watched this movie almost
many times.
Right.
I see it every year too. I watch it every year.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I started watching it. This is my first time watching it since I was like really young, like 9 or 10. I think is the last time I actually watched it.
Yeah, this is like you're an adult. Like now that you're an adult, you're actually watching it. And for me, I watched this last year, so I've seen it every year. But yeah, so I'm very curious to hear your thoughts now that you're an adult.
Oh my God. Well, that's debatable. But anyway, let's get... So then, if you're that curious, let's just get into it. Let's get into the review of Home Alone, directed by Chris Columbus. And before that, we get to the plot. I mean, who doesn't know the plot about Home Alone? But let's just get right through it. The McAllisters are going to Paris for Christmas vacation. And this is a huge family of about 15 people. I think it's like
something like that. Yeah, there's like a ton of them. 2
sets of adults, a whole crap load of kids. Most of them are from the McAllisters, which are played by John Hurd and Catherine O'Hara. Mm-hmm. And basically the plot is that one is left behind, and that's good old Kevin, played by Macaulay Culkin. Basically, that's the movie. And then while that's going on, the 2 burglars, played by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, are casing houses in order to steal their goods, and they've been eyeing the McAllisters' house for a long time, and they're about to do it, and it's up to Kevin to stop them, essentially.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's get right to our 3 points. Kim, why don't you start?
Sure. I really enjoyed the performances by Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, and Macaulay Culkin. I mean, obviously, everybody loves Macaulay Culkin in this movie. That is how he kind of started out and got his fame, I believe, right? This was like his first big hit. I don't know. I really enjoyed Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern's performances in these. I feel like they really make the movie. And if they weren't in the film, I don't know if it would be as humorous as it is. So I really enjoyed their performances overall.
I do like their performances, Pesci and Stern. Mainly Pesci to a certain extent.
Yes.
I actually like him the most of the 2 of those.
I agree.
But yeah, they break up the movie nicely, because as much as I do like Culkin in this movie, he does become a little overbearing and he does overact a great deal, but I think that's just part of the charm of the movie and the character. But
Yeah.
to have him be the sole thing you watch throughout the entire film could get pretty grating at times.
It would get tired after a while, yeah.
Right.
For sure.
We'll just go right into my point, which is like yours. I like Culkin's overacting. I think it's charming. The whole entire premise of the movie, I think, when it comes to the acting, is overacting in this movie. Almost every character, every actor in this movie is overacting to a certain extent.
Yes, I agree with that.
I guess Culkin is a little bit more louder than most, but he's also considered to be very smart. He talks like an adult in a lot of times, even though I don't think he could actually understand what he's saying. But that's kind of the cuteness. And what's interesting about Culkin in this movie is that even though he's saying and talking about all these things, and you don't believe that he understands anything that he's saying, he still sounds charming and cute. Like a lot of movies use the trope of turning kids into little adults. And this movie, I think, gets accused of that a lot, but really that's not the case, because I think the movie is trying to show that Kevin is repeating what he's hearing, but doesn't quite understand exactly why people say those things, which a lot of kids do those at that time. Like, correct?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I guess in a way he does. He's, like you said, it's like he's trying to portray himself as an adult, but he is a kid, and that's what it is, you know, at that point. So, yeah, no, I would have to agree with that.
Okay. So what's your next point?
Point number 2, I really enjoyed the writing.
Okay.
I thought the one-liners were really great. It fits with the plot. Again, you know, I do agree with you that most of the characters are the actors and actresses are overacting, but I think the writing plays into that as well. Like, you know, there's a scene with the uncle at the beginning, and, you know, he's, you know, kind of playing on Kevin, and like, but it's like one-liners that stay with you. Like, it's just humorous writing, and I think it just fits the scene.
Right. And you know what? I'm going to move my point here, because I think it fits really well with your point about the writing. I do enjoy the writing, too. I think some of the one-liners are very good, but they're all meant for Kevin in this movie, which is weird on some instances, because if you give the kid the best lines, you really need an actor to actually perform them very well, which Macaulay Culkin does in this movie. He does a very good job on this. But another thing about the writing that didn't dawn on me until I started watching it is that every character is an asshole in this movie. Like, an absolute jerk, including Kevin. And then
not every character, almost all the characters.
Oh, if you're talking about the old guy that yeah. Okay, so that's one exception. It's one exception. Absolutely. So there's one exception.
And like, the mom isn't too bad, but she still kind of is.
She kind of is, yeah. But like, every character has this whiff of unlikability I can understand where people would watch this movie and go, how can you like any of these people? And like, I completely understand. These are all like jerks, including Kevin. And Kevin's a downright sociopath. Oh my God. Like, holy shit. Like, the thing that I thought about at the end of this movie is that boy is either going to have some serious mental health issues, or he's going to develop a kink for getting hit when he's with his partner, because damn, he enjoyed doing that way too much to those criminals, like way too much. I know that's part of the comedy in this movie, but like, it is kind of funny that if you take a step back and go, if I had a kid like that, I'd be so fucking scared of him. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, and scared of how he's gonna turn out, you know? It's like, oh my God, like, it'd be on one of those like murder documentaries. One of those true crime documentaries that I love so much. I'd be like, and my child.
And the trauma happened when his mother left him alone for Christmas.
Seriously.
Where he then seriously injured and almost killed 2 men entering his house.
Yeah. Oh man, that is a good point. I didn't even think of that. Oh, Macaulay Culkin.
Unsolved mysteries.
Oh my God! Wow, you make a really good point.
If you have seen Kevin McAllister, call this number hotline. Walk to your number. Do not engage. call the police or our 1-800 line and bring him to justice.
Yeah, like if he can take down like 2 grown men, like what the fuck? Like stay away from me, child.
Oh man, like God, he's definitely one of those people who will have a haunted house and like fill it with traps. And oh man, I know Macaulay Culkin has done skits about this when it came to he's done a comedic skit for a YouTube channel, but that's the most he's done. I am very surprised somebody hasn't come up to him and say, "Hey, I want to do a horror movie, and the twist is you're the villain." And I think somebody would have. I would believe somebody would have come up to him and said, "I want to try this." He likely would have said, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. But I think this would have been really fun.
Been kind of cool.
Yeah. Are you want to give up? Or are you thirsty for more? Yeah. Why does it sound familiar?
I know. Like, that's actually would make a good movie.
Yeah. I'm betting somebody made that pitch to him and he said no. I have to believe.
He was probably like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what's your third point?
So kind of what you said at the beginning, the nostalgic Christmas film for most. I mean,
God, yes.
We even put, kind of when we were talking, when we did our review last week for An American Tail, we talked about how Home Alone is just like such a like American film. Like if you live in America and haven't seen Home Alone, then I don't know. Like,
are you saying this should be part of the immigration process? They all have to take
I think so.
the naturalization test and then watch Home Alone, and if they don't like Home Alone, they have to get sent back? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
Heartless.
I don't know. I love it for the nostalgia. Like, I just remember being a kid watching this movie over and over again around Christmas with my family, huddled around the tree, and my dad would laugh so hard that his laugh would be booming throughout the entire house. And my mother would just be like, "Oh my God, you're so loud. We're trying to watch the movie." He's like, "But it's so funny." Like, he just couldn't stop laughing. And
he made the guy step on the nail. How funny is that, honey?
Literally.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, like, there's like one part where Daniel Stern screams.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching it with my husband the other day, and we were just dying laughing. It is just like, I just always find this film hilarious. I can't not laugh at it.
Yeah, which brings me to my third point, and we can just hash it out together on both of our points. This is essentially a live-action cartoon. This is like a live-action Looney Tunes, where there's
I love that point, because it's so true.
Right, because if half the things happened to somebody in real life, they would have major concussions or be dead.
Yeah.
But in this movie, they're shrugging it off.
Continue on.
Like,
yep.
Come on, Murph.
Continue forward.
But like that kind of fits, and not just with the violence, but with how the characters are themselves. They are very one note, but especially with like Kevin in this movie.
Yeah, you think he'd be like scared and like be like calling the police. You know what I mean?
But what's interesting, and what is something that this film does that Christmas Vacation did not do, is that they come up with good reasons as to why it is the way that it is. Like, why did everybody rush out of the house without realizing Kevin's not around? Because the power went out, and they all rushed to get everybody in the car, and someone miscounted, thinking Kevin was there.
Right.
Like, why didn't anyone call the house right away? Well, the lines were down, and we're down for 2 days.
Right.
Like, they came up with good reasons for that to be that way.
That is true, yeah.
So, that's true. Like, but like I'm thinking a lot of the scenes here, like, and on top of that, like certain scenes, like let's say the pizza delivery guy who, with Kevin and the videotape. You mean to tell me that it has everything down perfectly to where he can press play on the right time and suspect the person is saying the right thing for that to work? It's completely unbelievable. But if you put in the mindset this is a live-action Looney Tunes, it fits really well. To me, I understand why some adults think, like other adults who watch this movie go, how can you find this funny? This is so unrealistic. And I would say that's the fucking point. Like, it's a cartoon.
Exactly. And, I was talking to my husband before we, jumped on to do this review, and I'm like, what should I say about Home Alone? Because, I just know that I love the movie, and he's like, it's unrealistic. That's what he said to me. And I'm like, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's completely unrealistic. But, honestly,
that's what makes it, charming and hilarious.
Right. And the movie knows it, too. How much does Joe Pesci sound like Yosemite Sam when he's angry?
Oh my God, but he's so funny.
I know, it's so funny.
I can't stop laughing. It's just ridiculous. And their names in the film, Marv and I forget what his name. Marv and is it Harry? Marv and
Harry? It's Harry, yeah.
Yeah. Just ridiculous. Who the fuck Marv? Who comes up with that name? But it's so funny.
They're criminals. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's just little things.
Come up with bad names. Yeah. I guess the best way to put it with some people who just find it objectionable that this is highly unrealistic is just replace Kevin with Bugs Bunny and replace the two bandits with Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam, and it's the same thing. It just so happens to be that it's all live action.
Right. It's real people, not an actual cartoon.
It's not like the movie takes itself seriously. It works in that sense. So, in that instance, I definitely see the point of the movie, and it's enjoyable. But
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely. Jesus Christ, we're going fast. All right, Kim, who do you recommend this for?
I personally recommend this for families at Christmas time. Because again, I try to watch this every year with my family. And then also people of all ages that may enjoy that physical humor, or as you said it, kind of that live action cartoon, right? Because there's some people that, again, like you said, be like, this is so unrealistic that I just really don't care about it. But then if you look at it in a certain way, like you mentioned, the live action cartoon, I think people would really find the humor in it and enjoy it.
Okay. And who do you not recommend this for?
Again, on the flip side of that, those that do not enjoy physical humor or, unrealistic films. And then also maybe some people that don't enjoy films set during Christmas time, because the film itself is also set during Christmas time. I think you told me you love Christmas, but you don't like Christmas movies.
No. I am more and more becoming a complete Scrooge when it comes to Christmas movies.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's it depends. Either you love Christmas movies or you're kind of I could take them or leave them, right? And there are certain Christmas movies I will watch over and over again every year, and then there's others that I could care less about. A lot of people National Lampoon's Christmas. I could care less about that film. I have no interest, but Home Alone, every year there will be Home Alone. But then I have friends that love the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So
they're wrong.
That's yes. So that's their film, right? So it just depends on if you enjoy certain films at Christmas time or not.
Yeah. You need to get rid of those friends, by the way. That's just something's wrong with them.
Well, I'm glad
you want to be around.
I haven't listened to your review yet for that, but I'm glad you don't like it, because I didn't really care for it either. I just didn't care about that movie.
No. If you want good, God-fearing people who like good movies, if they like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you need to stay away from them. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah. God.
Tell me how you really feel. Go listen to your review, I guess. Oh, God.
Or you can look at the written review at IamTheWiz.com.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I may just do that.
Did you know that I was writing reviews now?
I knew you were writing, but I didn't know where to find them.
Oh, yeah. There you go. It's IamTheWiz.com. Okay, so who do I recommend this for? I recommend this for kids who want a power fantasy, essentially.
I love that. I saw that you wrote that down as one of your recommendations. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
That's so true.
There are kids that are like, I hate when parents or adults push me around. I wish I could be like Kevin McAllister and give them concussions constantly. And there you go.
And be home alone and eat a bunch of junk food.
Yeah, well. Also, I would recommend if you want good Christmas nostalgia, this film is filled to the brim of Christmas. There's a lot of Christmas films that really don't have a lot of Christmas in it. It's a Wonderful Life is considered a Christmas movie, but only about a third of it's in Christmas. I do understand how that is considered a Christmas movie, but there are other movies that are set in Christmas, have Christmas paraphernalia, and they're not a Christmas movie. Die Hard being an example. Yeah, I said it. So But this has a lot of good Christmas nostalgia. A lot of great set decorations. Everybody is in like Christmas gear. Really good Christmas music. Like the Christmas music they put in there is really good.
Yeah.
So,
it's like the classic Christmas music.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure.
So if you like all that stuff, it's there for you. And then who do I not recommend this for? You demand realism of any sort. Like really. Like if you were one of the type of those people who sit there and go, that would never happen.
Like, this is so stupid. This would never happen. Yeah.
And I'd be like, no shit, it wouldn't happen. It's a fucking cartoon.
It's a movie. Like,
yeah.
It's a fucking Christmas movie about a little kid, like, that stays home alone. Like,
right, absolutely. So, like, if you demand realism in all your movies, you might want to step off of this one. And then the other is if you hate overacting. Everybody overacts in this movie. Everybody.
But like you said, I think overall it works, but if you really don't like overacting, then no.
Right. Like, it works for this movie, and it doesn't work to the point where it's campy. It works to the point where it's just entertaining. I definitely like what they did in this movie when it came to the acting in this. Even though I can see it plain and clear, it's overacting, but it's funny enough where it shouldn't really bother you. But if you really hate overacting, along with you demand realism, probably not. You'll kind of
probably hate this movie.
Yeah, definitely. Do you recommend this, Kim?
I highly recommend it. I love Home Alone. It will always be one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. So,
okay, nice. Okay, and I also recommend it. I'm actually kind of surprised that I recommend this movie because I've kind of avoided this movie because it's got that stigma of, oh, it's a dumb comedy, it's unrealistic, da-da-da-da-da. And then when I watched it today, I was like, oh, but they knew it was going to be this way, so whatever. Like, not a big deal.
Did you laugh? Like, did you find it hilarious?
I found it charming. I found some parts hilarious. Yeah. But, like, it's one of those things where if you just got to buy in. Like, if you can buy into the charm, it works. But if you're absolutely right. But you're definitely one of those people who are like, this is so stupid. This would never happen. This kid would be scared out of his guts. He'd be shitting his pants. He would be like, he would go to the neighbor. Oh, it just so happens the neighbors aren't all there. Oh, gee, like,
like that's a coincidence.
Yeah, like, oh, and he's walking to the store and no one asks where his parents are. Really? Like,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you can point all that stuff out and you'd be 100% right, but it works for this movie, and I think it's entertaining for what it is. It doesn't take itself seriously. If it took itself seriously in any form, then there would be a problem, but it doesn't. Yeah, so it works. Exactly. So yeah, I would recommend it. Kim, you would recommend it. It's good. It's not the best, but it's a good Christmas movie. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for the whole family, really, if you think about it.
Sure.
Like I'll probably watch this over the weekend, with my nephews. It's cute. It's fun. It's funny, and it keeps the kids entertained too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it is like you said, it's that live action cartoon.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It keeps the kids fully entertained.
Yeah. So we both recommend Home Alone.
And I do just want to throw in a little tidbit since we're kind of early on this one. We're flying through this review.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I learned something new about this film that I thought was kind of interesting. And again, I've seen this so many times and I didn't know. So my husband told me the other night, he was researching this film and he said that, was it John Belushi's in this? He's the guy, the polka guy. I forget. Is that his name?
John Candy.
John Candy. Thank you. Sorry.
I was going to say, because I thought John Belushi died at that point.
Yeah, sorry. wrong John. John Candy is in this film as well, like a small role. And when he ad-libbed a couple of his scenes.
Yes.
And at the time, they were offering him payment in movie rights. And he didn't take payment in movie rights. He took $400 instead or something. And because he didn't think Home Alone was going to be anything spectacular in the box office or anything like that.
Yeah.
So he blew off movie rights and compensation from, how well it did for $400, or it was something ridiculously low in payment.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, that is insane.
Right. But then you also have to, I would understand why he would look at this and go, this isn't going to make any money.
Right.
This isn't going to do anything.
But imagine that.
Sure.
That's crazy.
But then on top of that, John Candy made a lot of money. Like he.
Oh no, he did, but I just think it's funny. Like I just didn't know, like, you know, and then you never know, and then the movie blew up.
I'm surprised they offered him movie rights, because that's very strange. That would be something you give to a star of the movie or a supporting cast member who is prominent in the movie, not somebody who had a quick 2-minute role in the movie. Like I was I'm very surprised to hear that, because... And
maybe I'm wording it wrong, or maybe my husband is, but they were offering him like some part of the compensation of like the film or something, and...
cut of the gross, basically.
Yeah, the gross, whatever. Yeah. But he didn't take it.
No.
So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
So let me ask you a quick question. I kind of hinted at it before we got on. I guess the question I have is this. Do you think people who watch Christmas movies let slide certain aspects of it where they wouldn't in other movies? Like, do they let the fact that it's a Christmas movie color their judgment?
I think so.
Okay. Because I gotta say, there are a lot of classic Christmas movies that when I wrote the review for Christmas Vacation, spoiler alert, I did not like it. I'm waiting for that to blow up, to be absolutely honest. There's going to be some people on my Facebook feed who are going to be like, how could you not like this? Blah, 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 blah. But because I get that for A Christmas Story. But then I started listing Christmas classics that I don't like. And there are a great number of them. A Christmas Story, I hate that movie.
I hate that movie so much.
Yeah. Christmas Vacation, The Polar Express.
You don't like Polar Express?
Too creepy. Like it looks.
You would say that?
It looks so fucking unnatural. It's like, good lord.
It is a little creepy, but I don't know. I think overall it was a pretty good movie. But I can see why you would think it's scary.
It's never. Not that I think it's scary, but it's like It never is creepy. It never is good when the kids that are the models that are kids look like they are dead in the eyes. It just doesn't look good.
That's true. That's true.
And then I think the one that I think surprises a lot of people is I do not like Love Actually. I have never liked that movie. I've seen it now 3 times.
Really? I'm surprised.
I don't like Love Actually. And
so tell me, just really quick, I know we're not doing a review of Love Actually, but why?
Because only 2 stories work in that, and there's about 8 of them. And on top of that, like, there's not enough room for the stories to breathe. And then probably the best performance and the most likable performance is someone who is just for comedic effect, which is Bill Nighy's character, who is the aging rocker.
He's so funny.
He is like the only person that has probably a really good performance. I like Hugh Grant, but he's just Hugh Grant in that movie. It's kind of basic Hugh Grant love films for that movie. And then the Alan Rickman, Emma Thompson one is all right, but all of them have the problem of there's not enough time. Like, there's really not enough time to flesh them out. And then on top of that, like a lot of the love stories just don't work. On top of all that as well, it's just like I don't know. Like
so like that movie is one of the movies where like I'd just be like, oh, I just enjoy it because it's Christmas. Like I wouldn't be like, this was a great plot, or the writing was good, or the acting was fantastical. Like that would definitely be one of those movies where I'd just be like, oh, it's just cute because it's Christmas. Like that's so
right.
So to answer your question from the very beginning, I think people let things slide when it's like a Christmas movie or frequently watched around Christmas time.
Right. Like with Love Actually, drew me to watch the film was because it was from the writer of Notting Hill. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that he did it. Okay, then I gotta watch it. And then I watched it. It was like, I don't like this at all.
But there's other films out there that have like all those different stories happening within them that don't work at all either. But I feel like this one's a little bit better than others.
Yes, but that's a very low bar. Like if you're talking about like movies like New Year's Day, Valentine's Day,
I hate those ones. I hate them.
She's Not That Into You. Awful movies.
Terrible movies.
Terrible. My God. Like saying like, well, it's better than that. It's like saying, well, you can either. It's like either, well, I can spank you with a paddle, or I can smack you with some barbed wire. Which would you rather have? Well, I guess the paddle. Like, it's like, the paddle's better, isn't it? Like, yeah, I guess, but like, I'm still okay.
Still hurts.
Yeah, thanks. But like, I've seen Love Actually 3 times because after I watched it the first time, people who love it says, oh, it just wasn't like It just wasn't Notting Hill, so that's why you didn't like it. It's like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Watch it a second time. No, it's bad. No, bad. And then of course,
I enjoyed it. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of unnecessary stuff in that movie, too. Like, why is there so much nudity? Well, there's not a lot of nudity, but there's nudity in it, and I'm like, I don't understand why it needs to be there. The whole porn actors thing could have been cut. And then, why is there the scene...
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I guess. But, like, I think a lot of people... I guess you agree that people seem to give a lot more leniency to Christmas movies when it comes to their quality.
They don't take them as seriously, I think.
I definitely agree. Yeah. All I say to people most times is, you think this is one of the greatest movies ever made? Okay, watch it outside of Christmas. Then tell me how you feel.
Exactly.
I did that
because if I watched Home Alone in like July, I'd be like,
I don't. Yeah, maybe. But I watched It's a Wonderful Life 6 months after I watched it the first time. I was like, no, this is actually really good. Like, I actually really like this. And
I haven't seen that film in a long time.
Yeah, but like,
it's a good one.
But I think that's why a lot of people try to push Die Hard as a Christmas movie, because I think deep down they know there really aren't many good Christmas movies, and then they try to push that in there. Oh, that's a Christmas movie. Like, just stop. No, it's not. Just
it's not
calm down.
A Christmas movie. We will say this over and over again till the day we die. It's not a Christmas movie.
We will take your insults and we will take them as shield. But when you die and when you're on your deathbed and you're thinking about everything that you've done wrong in your life, you go, Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. And then you'll just die and you'll be in the pearly gates with St. Peter, and he goes,
I'll make sure at my funeral they notate that when somebody's doing a speech about me. Die Hard is not a Kim confirmed on the Wiz's podcast that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
She wasn't the perfect person. She often threw things at kids and said that Die Hard was not a Christmas movie. But we all love Kim for not of the bad things she did, but of the good things she did. Amen.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm not even going to have a eulogy. Come on. People are going to be like, did you know this guy hated...
It's called a eulogy. I'm like, when they give a speech about me. Like I'm the damn president or something.
Oh, that's fine. Like with me, it'll be like, this guy doesn't like Die Hard as a Christmas movie? What? Put him in the incinerator.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. Thank you for listening to this review. If you want to know what we're reviewing in the next couple of days, you can look on the screen right now to see what's coming up next. If you like what you heard, go ahead and leave a like on this video. If you want to discuss your opinion on the film or the review itself, please leave a comment. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for listening. I will talk to you next time.